Today we are discussing about the significance of this Northeast India as a region. And it is officially known as Northeastern region, NER, and it happens to be on the northeasternmost corner of Indian subcontinent, or this in India. And as we all know, it includes Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Nagaland, and Tripura. And since 2002, Sikkim was also incorporated into this group of states. I will not go into the geographical coordinates between this region, but I wish to state that it is one of the it's a region with an incredible ethnic diversity, and it has, we shall come to that ethnic diversity a little later, but I would like to emphasize that it is not only a geographical or political administrative division of this country, but also a cultural, we can say, a cultural region which has some certain distinctive features as a socio-cultural region. As we all know, it is Northeastern Council, which was the coordinating agency of this region, and it was established in 1971. Now, let us come not to the demographics at this moment, not the percentages and all, but I would like to state that this entire region that comprises 2000, sorry, but this region is one of the world's largest salients or panhandles in the world. As we all know, panhandles is a region unlike peninsula. It is covered on all the at least two sides by land masses. So it is one of the largest panhandles in this world, and the political boundary of this region, as well as the different states of this region, has been changing throughout history. And by the Treaty of Yandabu in 1826, the British had control over this region, and the political, the administrative, political, and historical forces were channelized into another dimension. At the time of Indian independence, that is around 1947, and between 1947 and 1960, or even during the 70s, all these states, different states of this region, excepting Manipur and Tripura, all others were part of Assam. Arunachal Pradesh was known as NEFA, Northeast Frontier Agency, and it was, as it is a very strategically located, so it was placed under, it was controlled by the External Affairs Ministry. Then Meghalaya was known, there were two districts in Meghalaya, Khasi and Jaintia Hills, and the other one is Garo Hills district. Then there was the Lushai Hills district, which is now known as Mizoram. Then Nagaland was known as Naga Hills district. In Assamese, we used to say Naga Pahar Jilla. So These were all districts excepting this Manipur and Tripura, as I must have mentioned it earlier, that these two were princely states. So North India at that time was almost equal to Assam. But gradually, uh, due to different reasons, and as we shall come to these issues later on in separate uh, sessions or videos. So the creation was Nagaland in 1963, then Meghalaya in 1972, Arunachal Pradesh in 1975, and Mizoram in 1987. And during these points of time, the separate states were born. Creation of Nagaland, Meghalaya, Arunachal Pradesh, Mizoram. These were carved out of Assam during this period. Manipur and Tripura remained as union territories of India between 1956 and 1972. And later on, they became fully fledged, they achieved fully fledged statehood. Sikkim was integrated as the 8th Northeastern Council state in 2002, as I have already mentioned. So formerly these other 7 were known as Had Dhoni, the 7 sisters. Now they have become 8 sisters. So before this, I would like to say another thing about this region. As I have told you, that it is surrounded by different land masses, and it is very strategically located in the state of in the Union Indian in the country. This is a very crucial and strategically located region, because if we look at its frontiers, its frontier areas, that we shall find that it is surrounded by many foreign countries, or we shall have some international. It is surrounded by international boundaries. That is China, Myanmar, Bhutan, and Bangladesh. These are the main. These are the countries that surrounds this region. But if we go long back into the history of humanity as a whole, then we shall see, as per this out of Africa theory, the human beings originated, that is Homo sapiens sapiens originated in Africa, and out of this region, this continent of Africa, that it came out and spread all for the globe. And we shall see, if we look at the map of human dispersal, then we find that it is through this region, most probably in the very dim, remote times, humanity passed through this corridor from west to east direction, because Africa lie on the western side. But so it is through this corridor. It is almost a corridor. So the humanity passed through this region and went out in its course of migration up to Australia in the south, and all throughout the China and Asia, and then from that region, from easternmost point of Asia to America, and it spread towards the other continents. So now this is significant, and it is a very we can say the primary dispersal of humanity. But later on, This west to east movement of population was rather reversed in the next phases, in the recent phases of this phases of human migration into this region. We should keep it separately, that because the first one was the primary dispersal from Africa, and later on, in the later centuries or in the later centuries, we can say that migration, that human migration into this region was mostly from east to west, not from west to east. If we look at the map of India, then we shall see that most of the community population came through the western routes into India. The Aryans came, and other communities, other groups, hordes came through from the west to eastern direction. But in case of Northeast India, the population migration was mainly from east to west, that is from the eastern, northeastern or southeastern directions. The earliest settlers might have into this region must have been the Austroasiatic speakers. This is, now we are discussing about the language groups. Then next come the Tibeto-Burman groups from China and the Indo-Aryan speakers came from the Gangetic plains, from the western direction. So it is a meeting point, we can say, between the eastern and western worlds.